Not all places that I love are mappable. Not all the places that I want to be, that I want to belong, are actual geographic, tangible places. I once belonged to a website that became a home to myself and 100 other girls. And I got to be little den mother, and I formed some very genuine, very real, and lasting relationships with these people, even though the place we hung out wasn't really a place. Likewise, there's the island of Nerdfighteria, the country, the continent, the state of being. I definitely am hardcore nerdfighter, and of course, the Thoughts from Places Where I'm At is what I'm here imitating. I had shot this video once already, and I did it walking around my apartment building, but there was a technical glitch with YouTube, so it didn't even survive. But in a way I'm glad, because it means that I had to redo it, that I had to rethink it, that I had to start over and consider what I really truly wanted to say. And I guess I want to talk about places that aren't here, but are still significant. And there's places without, like Nerdfighteria, that don't exist but are in fact still a place. There are virtual places like this website I was a member of and a moderator on. You girls in the forum know what I'm talking about. And from the SOS. And there are likewise places interior. I'll put a link to another video I've done regarding a metaphor of the human psyche as being a house. And I speak about a particular mental illness and use that metaphor. And in that sense, my own mind is a place. And there's other states of being that are just as valid, but not a state. I live in the state of Oregon, but I'm also in the state of being among the living. I have a very dear friend named Aaron Jameson, and he has terminal cancer, was diagnosed and slated to die quite a while ago, more than 2 years ago. And he chooses joy. He taught me something very profound, my friend Aaron. I even have a bracelet. He has this motto. It goes, cancer sucks, life is good, choose joy. And I have it on a t-shirt too. But it's a very profound way of looking at life, that even when things are hard, being happy and choosing to be in that place of joy is a deliberate effort. It's a deliberate decision one can make, and one does make every single day. I had a friend, an online virtual friend, years and years ago, that I was talking to about his depression, and I was saying that happiness is not something that just falls in your lap. It's not something you can go and grab with two hands. It's not something that just magically appears. Happiness and being in that state of being happy, being in that place, is a deliberate choice, and one we make every day of our lives. We can choose to embrace the actions, the behavior, the attitude that creates in us a place of peace, a place of joy, a place of happiness. And I said it in such a way that impressed him so much that he actually put me on his quote of the day list, emailing list. And I think tens of thousands of people have a quote about, happiness is a decision, by Debbie Wind. That was my former name, Wind. I've been gone with But so Aaron, my very brave and wonderful friend, died just a few days ago. And he went from the state of living to the state of the not living. And he had a very firm belief in the afterlife and in the benevolent higher power and the wisdom and purpose to his life and to every happening within his life, whether or not he understood it. And that is a viewpoint that I share. I believe everything happens for a reason. Good or bad, happy, sad, everything happens for a reason. And just because I don't happen to be privy to that, what the reason is during or even after, doesn't mean there isn't one. And that is call it faith. I mean, it is faith. It's this belief that anything that happens to me is what's supposed to happen to me. And I get to choose. I get to choose. I get to choose to believe that there's meaning in hardship, in trial, in travail. I get to choose that there is purpose and greater. I have a very good friend that I once told that I firmly believed that there were higher machinations. There are machinations of a higher or overarching. How do I put it? Something about. I believe that there is an overarching higher machinations conspiring for your good. And I still believe that. I think maybe he's starting to believe it too. Choosing to be happy, choosing to be in a state of peace, a state of existence, a state of happiness, a state of acceptance for things that we cannot change. I really believe that's the only way to be happy. To accept and to trust and to love. Because what is this life without that? And yet, if all we had was love, if all we had was happiness, if all we had was joy because we were so good at making those choices, we would never appreciate for what it was. You know, there was a television show, Chuck. I don't know if you guys watch Chuck. I'm a big nerd. And Chuck, the main character, protagonist Chuck, has a brother-in-law named Devin, but they call him Captain Awesome because he's this really amazing person, but he also says awesome all the time. And at one point, the protagonist's sister Ellie goes on a rant about how if everything is awesome, then awesome by definition becomes mediocre. We've got to have the bitter to appreciate the sweet. We've got to have this pain to appreciate the pleasure. And I've had a very challenging couple of weeks, and my dear friend finally passing on and going to a better place. Although it's not like we didn't know it was coming, there's still going to be an Aaron-shaped void in my life, which isn't happiness, but it's a reality. And the bitterness that he is absent in no way hinders, in fact, only emphasizes the sweet that came previous. So here I am, in a state of peace, in a state of love and acceptance, and quite happily in Nerdfighteria. We all get to choose who we are and what we do, and we all get to choose what we like and what makes us happy. And it's taking joy in the little things that can really make wherever you are a place worth being. And to that end, I'll sign off. Be well. Best wishes.